Hi there, and welcome to my weekly vlog. It is so lovely to be here today. I just completed a wisdom circle. We have monthly get togethers. We call them wisdom circles. They're community um, from mostly from our tribe community, but anyone really in the lipedema community can join us. And it's absolutely wonderful. And we had an especially stunning meeting. So let me know who's here, and I can welcome you. And yeah, just put a comment in the chat and let me know who's here and where you're coming in from. Hi, Jenny. Wasn't that a spectacular meeting? I'm so happy about it. And I'm really excited um, about our upcoming projects. It's amazing how it's all evolving. And anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, at the risk of being boring, hi, Miralee. And Ann from Utah, welcome, Ann. Um, I don't think it's boring though. In fact, for me, it's absolutely ecstatic. I have been very sick. I don't mean a little bit sick. I don't mean a cold or a flu. Uh, and but major lymphatic blockage. Let me talk about. Um, Now, you may have heard this before. I'm going to do the simple version, which is after not having flown for years with the pandemic, I flew down to South Carolina, had 2 flights, Boston to Washington, Washington to South Carolina, Charleston, and my lymphatic system broke. Not a little bit of break, but serious, significant break. Hi, Kim. Um, and by the time I got to the conference the following day, my face had blown to double its size. My body was incredibly swollen, and I couldn't breathe. I was having trouble breathing. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to try and make this short because we're doing a webinar on this whole thing tomorrow because I'm on the other side. It took me 2.5 years. Let's see. That was November of 2022. It's August, September, October, November. Almost 3 years to get to the other side of it. I went to many, many doctors. I had all these unexplained symptoms. I would say to every doctor, I have lymphatic issues. I think it's my lymph system. And the doctor would go, mm-hmm, yep, mm, mm, and then walk out and not do anything. Um, Discharge me. I was in the hospital. They ran so many tests and they couldn't come up with anything. Anyway, I'm going to tell the story tomorrow. So come tomorrow. The bottom line is I have turned the corner. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really feel like I'm well on my way to getting back to where I started and better than that even because now I know so much about the lymphatic system. And and I want to share that with all of you. And not only share that, but I am about to share my screen. Give me a second. Okie dokie. Here we go. So you should be seeing this. This is our webinar tomorrow. Why am I still swelling when standard lymphatic care isn't enough and you feel stuck? And Leslyn Keith, Dr. Leslyn Keith, me, Dr. Perry Nicholson, who is amazing. He is my miracle man. And Jen and Kelly Bell, husband and wife team that have amazing experience in understanding the central lymphatics. So it's going to be a longish webinar. I have us booked for like 2 hours, but it's tomorrow, the 25th of August, from 3 to 5-ish. And you'll understand more about the lymphatic system and specifically central lymphatic disorders. And be able to understand what are some of the symptoms, sort of do like a little bit of a checklist to see if that might be causing excessive swelling. And then some management strategies. And as I said, me, Leslyn, Kelly and Jen, and Dr. Perry. It is not to be missed, especially if you've had any issues that have not been identified. Oops. Okay. I shut that down. Oops. Wait, I have to find the right window. I found it. I'm back. Let's see. Two things. Let me start with Jenny. Jenny says, "Isn't it awful how our body can cause so many problems? If it was something we had purchased, we would take it back as not fit for purpose." You know, Jenny, I agreed with you up until recently. Up until recently, I have been in awe at I have been working a long time. It's one of the things we teach, and it's one of the things that we continually emphasize, that your body knows. Listen to your body. Your body is communicating with you. And I feel that my body's been communicating with me all along. And I started to listen. Well, over the past several years, that's the work that we've done at Lipedema Simplified, is listening to what your body is saying. And I've grown so fond of her. With all of my double chin and my wrinkles and my saggy everything and my incredible issues with lymphedema and lipedema, but I'm understanding the mechanism of what happens and how this very complex system works. The fact that I'm still alive is a freaking miracle. So I want to answer A's question. I think that's Anne from Utah. Yeah, it's Anne from Utah. Has there been any studies on activated charcoal and bentonite clay? I've used the two when I feel really sick, and it seems to help lessen the icky feelings of nausea and toxicity. Yes, they're binders. Both activated charcoal and bentonite clay are binders. What they do when you take them is that toxins in your body, in your tissues, bind to them and then you pee and poop them out. It's one of the purposes of the lymphatic system is to clean out the toxins. And imagine if you have a lymphatic system that isn't working properly. If that lymphatic system isn't working, then all those toxins are building up in your body. And so that's a lot of what we talk about. Um, Jenny says, yes, the body communicates and we hear. If only the doctors would listen, it would help. That's, that's few and far between, Jenny. It's one of the things that over and over and over again we hear it. How we go to doctors and there's such bias in the world, but definitely bias in the healthcare system. Someone like me walks into a new doctor's office and there's an immediate judgment and assumption. The judgment is, oh, she's fat. And the assumption is it's lifestyle issues. She's eating everything in sight. She's not exercising. And she's fat and lazy and usually stupid. Those in the literature, they talk about that going together. And so, or the judgment or the assumption. And in fact, none of that is true, except I am fat. But the cause of it is lymphatic backup, obstruction to my thoracic duct, and lymphatic breakdown. I mean, there's so much else more than eating in the middle of the night or during the day or any time, or overeating. And so it's something that I feel like I say the same thing over and over and over again, but we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to often find the solutions. And that is what our community is all about, is supporting that process of being able to sort out what's the issue and what might be a solution to that issue. And it's something that I have to say, even I don't always trust it. Jenny is, yeah, Anne says, I think this is important because we all have experienced this. Doctors have been so dismissive with me in the past, but all the research I've done has helped me from my own efforts. They always say you need to lose weight, as if I haven't tried. Oh my God. That is so many of us. That's our story. And Jenny said, yes, that's so true. It's like with EDS. EDS is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is joint hypermobility. It's all in your head, but we will all strive to educate the doctors. Yep. And this is, who is this? Julie Rosa. Hi, Julie. Hi, everyone. So good to have you here. So, oh, I don't think I put the link for the webinar in the chat. I'm putting it in right now. So, for a much longer version of what I'm talking about, come tomorrow. And there'll be really, I'm thrilled. I knew at someday I would want to give a webinar on this, but I couldn't give the webinar until I had found some solution. And I now feel like I have some answers because, let's see, I've been seeing Dr. Perry, I believe, over a year. I think it was last August that I went down to New Jersey. I drive 10 hours, and I don't drive because I can't drive at this point because I was so, toxic with lymphatic toxins that I couldn't drive because I kept falling asleep at the wheel. So, someone drives me, and it's a 10-hour drive that we do in order for me to see Dr. Perry for an hour session. Uh, oh, how lovely. Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you, Anne. She says, thank you for the time and energy you put into helping us all. Much love. Thank you. Same here. Yeah, I think it's important. So I wanted to share all this, and I've shared it often here. Like, because as I was so sick, I kept saying, I'm so sick. Oh my God, I'm so sick. But I didn't even realize how sick I was until I got better. As I've been getting better, I'm like, oh my God, I was so sick. I mean, I had trouble breathing, I had trouble moving, I had trouble walking. I gained 80 pounds literally overnight over a period of a few months. It was mostly fluid, but nothing I did could get rid of it because it was fluid weight. Most of it was, in the interstitial. And anyway, I lost over 40 pounds um, over the past only few months. And it's because I finally figured out the formula for me. I'm going to share it with you. And if it works for others, fabulous. But I figured out the formula. And part of it was Dr. Perry because I knew I needed to move my lymph system. My lymph system had to start moving again, and it was obstructed. And even though I had surgery, it needed help. And that's what Dr. Perry provided. He was able to get my lymph system moving again. Anyway, all right. Thanks, Tawana and Julie and Jenny and everyone else who's here. There's a whole bunch of you, and Anne and Kim, I think, and Marilee. I think I mentioned everyone who put something in the chat. Have a wonderful, if you're here live, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. It's Sunday night here, and it is, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, or if you're listening to the replay, thank you. Sign up for the webinar for tomorrow and come and and be kind to me. Once I get into the story, I get into the weeds. Oh my God. It's like because it took me 3 years almost. It's 3 months shy of 3 years to figure this out. And I want to share it with you. That's as simple as that. All right, much love. Oh my God. Yes, it was. Yep, moving the friggin' lymph. It's an everyday thing. Yep, Julie. And I'm gonna and Dr. Perry's gonna be teaching everyone the big six, which helps to move the lymph fluid. So in addition to seeing him every month, I do all these exercises. So all right, I'm going on and on and on. Much love. See you guys.